Yesterday was my sister's 25 female engagement party. My two brothers, 22 and 21, and I, 21 male, had been on the other side of the U.S. for most of this year and didn't think we would be there for the party, but plans shifted and we ended up arriving home last Wednesday. Now I'm honestly not sure if I was invited so much as we simply happened to live where the event was being hosted because it was held in my parents' house. My sister didn't outright say she didn't want us there, but we didn't see much of her in the lead up. We didn't really know any of the people at the party, so we went around introducing ourselves to people, mingling and doing the party thing. Someone mentioned the family photos on the wall at some point and how they were surprised to see many of us on the wall when they didn't even know my sister had siblings. This sent me down a rabbit hole of confusion. This person elaborated and said she was surprised to see this type of photo on the wall because my sister had told all her friends that my parents were extreme workaholics. We have a really nice house, so they weren't surprised by that, just that it felt properly homey and lived in. Once again, I was thrown for a loop. Growing up, our home was the house. We had friends over constantly who were basically like extra siblings. My parents worked the normal amount and were home with us as much as possible. We got chauffeured around to sports practices. My parents took the time to get to know all our friends well, etc. I would even say they were more involved in our lives than average. It was my sister who really separated herself from everyone and chose to exclude herself from activities. At some point during this conversation, a few other people overheard, and soon enough there was a decent crowd of her friends around my brothers and me, listening to stories of us growing up that were blowing these people's minds because it's apparently common knowledge among their friend group that our parents were so hands-on, and uncommon knowledge that we even existed. I had a really good time, and I felt like I made some new friends. After the event, apparently, my sister was crying because I embarrassed her in front of all of her friends, and the work she had put in to separate herself from us, golden children, had been undone. Am I the idiot for embarrassing my sister at her engagement party by uncovering her lies about our childhood? You are the idiot. Something seems off if the oldest and only female child had a distinctly different memory of her childhood. Further, after seeing that you were becoming a spectacle, you didn't back off and return the focus to her. You made it a party to get to know you and for you to make friends. At the same time, it doesn't sound like you didn't care about even talking with your sister. It sounds like she was less favored due to your natural desire to make the spotlight about you and thinking your views of things is the right one. I'm with you on this. Now that he knows she was upset, it sounds like he's embellishing whatever will make him seem like just the friendly guy entertaining a group. At a party isn't the time to get into why her guest thinks she's an only child, and it sounds like much more is happening. OP, you're the idiot because this wasn't your event, and even after you noticed some discrepancies that should be addressed, you decided to keep your crowd. You could have pulled her aside and asked, or better yet, for an adult at an adult event, waited until everyone else was gone. Especially her mentioning the golden child syndrome means there's a lot we don't know. Unreliable narrator, you are the idiot. Exactly. I wouldn't be surprised if the boys got different parents than the oldest daughter. And the whole, we live across the country, but also at my parents', so I had to do the party, right? Is bull. OP traveled for this and then played it off like he was informally invited, knowing he probably wasn't. I have a feeling the boys weren't expected to be there, and it sounds like she was given a heads up that their plans changed when they showed up. Update. I can see her experiencing something different, but radically different? I really don't think so. Not to that extent. She usually came to our games and practices when she was younger. There were other siblings there to play with, and in her later years, she stayed home. She was never super into anything extracurricular. She liked reading a lot. We would sometimes all go to get milkshakes together, but we didn't hang out often. And no, she knew we were coming home. I didn't talk to her directly then, but if she didn't want us there, she should have communicated that to our mom. She just told our mom to remind us so we didn't invite anyone over or something. I haven't seen her since I got home. That's all. It's not like we aren't on speaking terms. It's just not the vibe for either of us to call one another. I'm very much hoping sister's friends are there for her later with a yeah. I get why you don't associate with them. What self-centered idiots. OP, you act like a little brat, as if your sister staying home to read is comparable to the amount of almost daily practice needed for hockey. Both her parents couldn't even be bothered to attend or award events, but they all seemed fine chauffeuring you to your games. You don't even need to like your sister, but you shouldn't treat her with such disdain. She did nothing to you guys, and you snubbed her at her own engagement event, talking up her guest, acting as if she was loved equally by your family. What kind of a trash person does that to their own sister? You aren't even actually clueless about how little attention she got, so you're just acting blasé because you never wanted to give her much thought, and you weren't going to start now. She's the lowest priority in your household, and you've normalized that as her place. Let me guess. The family also has some nice sprinkles of misogyny. My 23 female friend, Sarah, 25 female, and I have been close since childhood. We've shared many memories and experiences, and I consider her like a sister. Recently, Sarah got engaged to her long-term partner, Mark, 28 male, and they began planning a destination wedding at a luxurious resort in a tropical paradise. When Sarah first announced the destination, I was excited and congratulated her wholeheartedly. However, as the wedding details unfolded, I realized attending the wedding would be a significant financial burden for me. Travel, accommodation, and other expenses would eat into my savings and disrupt my budget for the foreseeable future. I work a stable job and can afford my everyday expenses comfortably, but splurging on an extravagant destination wedding isn't feasible for me at this point. Moreover, I have other financial goals, such as saving for a down payment on a house, that I need to prioritize. When Sarah asked if I would attend, I expressed my genuine happiness for her, but explained my financial constraints and regretfully declined. I assured her I would be there in spirit and celebrate with them during their reception back home. Sarah didn't take my refusal well and accused me of not caring enough about our friendship to make an effort. She argued that if I truly valued our friendship, I would find a way to be present on her special day. She pointed out that other friends were making sacrifices to attend, and it hurt her that I wasn't doing the same. I tried to explain my position, emphasizing that it wasn't about me not caring, but rather about being responsible with my finances. However, Sarah remains upset and distant, making me feel like a terrible friend. Now I'm conflicted, wondering if I made the right decision. I don't want to lose our friendship, but I also don't want to put myself in a difficult financial situation for a one-day event. Am I the idiot for refusing to attend my friend's destination wedding? Not the idiot. Friends don't push other friends to extend themselves beyond financial boundaries. Sarah is emotionally manipulating you, and she's the idiot in this scenario, not you. It is completely unreasonable for her to bully you into forking out thousands of dollars so she can be happy. She seems like a very entitled, spoiled child. You've made the right decision, and even if this harms your friendship with her, just remember it's only a selfish friend that you'll be losing. Sarah possibly gets a better deal at the hotel with more wedding guests she brings in. It's also possible Sarah wants OP there, but is too self-centered to understand that there are consequences to the decisions we make, and having a destination wedding means many people may not be able to make it. It's common for people to feel like their wedding is the year's social highlight and fail to realize that it's just not to the vast majority of their friends. It is ironic that she accused you of not caring about her when she obviously doesn't care about you, and what a financial burden she's trying to saddle you with. It's been said many times, an invitation is not a subpoena. Remind Sarah that this is the 21st century, and she should just set up a live stream so people who can't easily afford to attend can share her day. As we get older, we outgrow some friends, and it's okay. I, teen female, have leukemia. I was diagnosed 2 months ago. It's been very, very difficult. Chemo is a complete monster, but I'm trying to stay strong. Today's my grandma's 70th birthday. My extended family wanted to do a big party. Since I'm sick, they made it safe. It was outside, everyone wore masks, and there was lots of hand sanitizer and Clorox wipes. Since being sick, I dress very comfy in lounge shorts and a t-shirt most days. Well, today I did the same thing. Well, a few family members, aunts and uncles and a few older cousins, kept asking why I decided to dress like that and that I should put more effort into my appearance. Nobody was super dressed up, but I was the most underdressed. My parents said something but didn't want to get mad because they didn't want to ruin the day for my grandma, which I understand. Chemo messed up my taste buds and made me nauseous. The main things I can eat that don't make me completely sick are different types of potatoes, grilled chicken, and popsicles or slushes. Well, all they had that I could eat and not vomit were popsicles, so I had a few. Those same family members kept criticizing me, saying I needed to be healthier and eat actual food. I explained, so did my parents, that the chemo has made me not be able to eat a lot of foods, and the popsicles are one of the safe things I can eat. I wanted to yell at them, but my parents reminded me we shouldn't ruin the day for Grandma. Well, I held my tongue until I complained about being exhausted and wanting to go home soon to my mom. And one of my aunts said, "What do you do that makes you so tired? Every time I talk to your dad, you're lying around or watching TV." I finally got too upset. So I said, "Well, my body constantly tries to fight off cancer cells while making the rest of me sick and weak." Then I said, "So if you guys want to keep criticizing me, you guys can experience cancer and chemo, and then if you want to keep attacking me, go right ahead." I then apologized to my grandma and walked away. As I did, I heard my aunts and uncles grilling my parents for what I said. My parents aren't upset, but I do feel like I ruined the party by saying what I said. So, am I the idiot here? Edit. They do know I have cancer. I guess they think I should be putting up a front and acting like I'm not super sick all the time. Not the idiot. They ruined the party, not you. They know you have cancer and are having chemo. They can't be this clueless and tacky. Or I guess they can. I wonder what the payoff was for them, treating you this way. I mean, talk about kicking someone when they're down. It always baffles me that some adult humans can't process how illnesses and various conditions affect people's lives dramatically. Like it's going to stop because they feel it's inconvenient for them, suddenly. This reminds me of earlier in my wife's cancer treatment, when my mother-in-law kept asking her to put up a front and show up because of how it would look if she didn't attend the second half of some stupid little event after she wore herself out already attending the first. My jaw dropped. I was speechless, and my mother-in-law had the gall to complain to my wife afterward about how that was rude. Screw cancer. Screw the idiot to treat people with cancer like garbage. Best wishes for success in your battle. I'm having my wedding at an adults-only resort. They absolutely do not allow minors. I did this to save myself the hassle of fighting with my family over exceptions to my no children allowed policy. My husband and I are paying for the wedding ourselves, and we're paying for our guests to attend. It's a destination wedding, so we didn't want anyone we wanted there not to be able to come because of finances. I made the invitations very clear about whether kids were allowed or not. I received many RSVPs saying they regret that they cannot attend. I totally understand. Except now my sister found out that I'm paying for everyone to come and has lost it. She said she only said no because she didn't have anyone to watch her kids. The oldest is a teen and has watched her siblings, while my sister has gone on vacation in the last month. I said that everything was booked already, but that if she made her own arrangements, she'd be welcome at the wedding with her husband. She asked if we would pay for whatever she arranged, and I said no. I had already paid for everything I had budgeted for. She said that I was an idiot for not wanting her at my wedding. I said that I would not have invited her if I didn't want her to attend. My parents are now saying that I tricked my sister into not attending. My sister isn't poor, and the cost for her and her husband would have been $2,000. She just wanted me to bend and allow her kids because she lied that she couldn't come without her kids. Not the idiot. She was invited. She declined. Suddenly, when she found out she'd passed up a free vacation, she wanted to change things. When you declined to give her the free vacation, she went full Darvo and said that you were the one who didn't want her there. Your parents should not have fallen for your sister's obvious ploy, and I think you've correctly identified her motives. So your sister says she won't go if she has to pay, but if you bribe her with a $2,000 vacation, she would? If that's her mindset, it would only have been a matter of time before you went to no contact. She sounds awful. Your parents too. Let me guess. Sis is the golden child. The surprise I'm now paying is kinda idiot territory. You basically were testing people and then rewarding those that fit your requirements. I don't get I had already paid what I had budgeted for. For example, if you sent out 20 invitations, didn't you budget for 20 people? Of course, knowing someone might say no, but still, if you intended to cover cost, I assume your future husband and you said, what if everyone says yes? Can we afford to cover that? I don't know. You get one wedding day per husband, LOL, and it isn't worth not having your sister there over petty stuff. My son, nearly adult male, is a cheater. He's had a girlfriend, teen, for 3 months and a boyfriend, 18, for a year. I've talked to him about it, and he just says he's going to figure it out and break up with one of them. That was 3 months ago. So his boyfriend was at our house today, and they were watching something on HBO Max. So I decided to invite his girlfriend over to hang out since she didn't have work today. I figured if he could hang out with his boyfriend, he could hang out with his girlfriend. She shows up and rings the doorbell. I asked my son to open it. He panicked and tried to hide his boyfriend quickly, but realized that wouldn't work, so he just let her in. The boyfriend asked who his friend was, and he just said her name. Everything was fine until he tried to kiss my son. Then he had to explain everything. The boyfriend gets mad and starts yelling at my son. The girlfriend starts crying. My son broke up with her and apologized and said he'd call her later. Then he started crying and apologizing to his boyfriend. I thought watching his lies blow up was quite amusing. My SO and son are saying I was wrong to set him up like that. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. He's old enough to know what he's doing. He had 3 months to do the right thing and still didn't. In my books, he got off easy. Also, once a cheater, always a cheater. This may be what he needed to break it off before he created a full cycle for himself, and it might prevent him from doing it again. I'm sorry, I don't agree. OP's the idiot. Cheating is definitely wrong, and as the teen's mom, OP had a responsibility to talk to him and make sure he puts it right. But did she need to go nuclear? How was it fair on either of his partners to be put in that drama? They did nothing wrong, but both of them will suffer as much, if not more, than the son for the experience. And how is OP not an idiot for enjoying the whole spectacle? What a terrible way to parent.